Every morning, the world gives you a choice. You can let the day happen to you, or you can happen to the day. Most people never realize this choice exists, because by the time they wake up, the day has already begun without them. This is the story of a man who discovered that choice at the lowest point of his life, and how 2 quiet hours before sunrise changed everything.
In a grey and crowded city where the streets never fully slept, there lived a 29-year-old man named Karim. Karim worked the night shift at a packaging factory. 6 nights a week, he stood at a conveyor belt from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m., loading boxes, checking seals, watching the same machine repeat the same motion for 8 hours straight. Then he walked home through streets just beginning to wake up, crawled into a small, dark room, and disappeared until the afternoon. His apartment was on the 3rd floor of a building where the elevator never worked. 1 room, 1 window that faced a wall. A mattress, a small table, a single chair. On the wall, he had pinned a photograph of his younger sister, Nadia. She was 17 and studying hard in their hometown 3 hours away. Their father had passed years ago. Their mother cleaned houses to survive. Karim had come to the city to change that. But 3 years had passed, and almost nothing had changed.
He was not lazy. He worked every single shift without complaint. He sent money home every month, even when it left him with almost nothing. But hard work at the factory was keeping him alive, not moving him forward. Every day felt like a loop. Sleep, wake, eat, work, sleep again. And somewhere in that loop, his dreams had gone very quiet. He had once wanted to study business. He had once believed he would build something of his own one day. But exhaustion has a way of silencing ambition. When you are tired enough, even hope feels like too much effort. The moment everything shifted came on a Thursday in February. Karim received a message from his mother. Nadia's university acceptance had come through. Full scholarship, the best university in the country. But the scholarship covered tuition only. Housing, books, transport, those costs were his to carry if he wanted her to go. The number his mother sent was not enormous, but for Karim, standing in his 1-room apartment, it felt like a mountain.
He sat on the edge of his mattress for a long time that night. Not angry, not sad, just empty. He had worked for 3 years and had nothing built. No savings, no skills beyond what the factory needed. No plan, no path, just a number on his screen and a sister who deserved better. He put his phone down and stared at the ceiling. And in that silence, one thought rose slowly to the surface. You have been working hard, but you have never worked on yourself. That same night, Karim left for his shift earlier than usual. He arrived at the factory gates at 8:45 p.m., 15 minutes before anyone else. Sitting on the steps outside was an older man named Mr. Farouk. Mr. Farouk worked in the factory's maintenance department. He had been there for 20 years, but there was something different about him. While other workers arrived tired and left exhausted, Mr. Farouk always seemed steady, calm in a way that the factory couldn't touch. Karim sat beside him. They had spoken before, but only briefly. That night, something made Karim speak honestly. He told Mr. Farouk about Nadia, about the number, about 3 years of going nowhere.
Mr. Farouk listened without interrupting. When Karim finished, the older man was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "How many hours do you sleep when you get home?" Karim thought. 8, sometimes 9. Mr. Farouk nodded slowly. "And what do you do with those hours before your shift?" Karim looked at him. "I wake up around 4 p.m. I eat. I rest. I come to work." Mr. Farouk was quiet again. Then he said, "I want to show you something tomorrow morning. Meet me outside the gates at 6:15. Karim almost didn't go. He was tired, as always, after the shift. But something about Mr. Farouk's voice stayed with him. At 6:15, he was standing at the gate. Mr. Farouk was already there, holding 2 cups of tea. He handed one to Karim and pointed down the street. The city was barely awake. A few early walkers, shopkeepers rolling up shutters. The light was soft and pale, neither night nor day. Everything was quiet in a way the city almost never was.
Mr. Farouk said, "Look at this. Really look at it." Karim looked. "What do you see?" "The city waking up," Karim said. Mr. Farouk shook his head gently. "I see unclaimed time. The 1 hour in the entire day that belongs to no one yet. No demands, no noise, no one asking anything of you. This hour, Karim, this is when you build." He turned to face him. "I have worked in that factory for 20 years, but 20 years ago, I also started waking up 1 hour earlier than I needed to. I used that hour to learn. Accounting first, then contracts, then property management. I own 3 small apartments now. My children have never gone without. Not because the factory made me rich, but because I protected 1 hour every morning and refused to waste it." Karim stared at him. 1 hour? Every single morning. No exceptions. Not holidays, not weekends, not when I was sick. The hour existed. I showed up for it.
He sipped his tea. "Your problem is not your salary, Karim. Your problem is that you are spending every coin of your time and saving none of it for yourself. Start tomorrow. Wake up 1 hour earlier than you need to. Use it only for learning something that will change where you are. Do that for 90 days without stopping. Then come back and tell me what happened." Karim went home that morning and set his alarm. Not for 4 p.m. as usual. For 3 p.m. 1 hour earlier. The first morning was brutal. His eyes burned, his body pulled towards sleep like gravity. But he sat at his small table, opened his phone, and began watching free tutorials on business accounting. The second morning was hard. The third was harder. By the end of the first week, he had questioned himself every single day, but he had not stopped. Around day 18, something small happened. He woke up at 2:58 p.m., 2 minutes before his alarm. He lay there for a moment, surprised. His body had stopped fighting the hour. It had accepted it. By the end of the second month, he had completed 2 free certification courses: basic bookkeeping, business communication. He had started applying what he learned to his own finances, tracking every expense, finding where small amounts were leaking away, saving with a discipline he had never had before. He was not the same person who had sat on that mattress staring at the ceiling. He was becoming someone who showed up for himself. On day 89, Karim was called into the factory office. The administrator had noticed something. The shift logs Karim submitted were more organized than anyone else's organized. His records were clean, clear, and easy to read. They needed someone part-time in the administrative office. Daytime hours, better pay, a chance to grow. Would he be interested? Karim looked at the offer letter.
Then he thought about the morning hour, about 90 days of 3 p.m. alarms and burning eyes and refusing to quit. Yes, he said quietly, I'm interested.
6 months later, Karim sat at a desk in a small but bright office. He was no longer loading boxes on a conveyor belt. He was managing records, learning the business from the inside, saving more money in 1 month than he used to save in 4. Nadia started university that autumn. Karim paid the first semester's housing himself. On the morning of her first day, she called him. How did you do it, Karim? How did you change everything so fast? He looked out the office window at the early morning sky. I stopped waiting for life to get easier, he said, and I started waking up before it began. You do not need more hours in your day. You need to reclaim the ones you are already sleeping through. 1 hour, every morning, before the world wakes up and starts asking things of you. That is when you study. That is when you build. That is when you quietly become the person your future is waiting for. The alarm will ring tomorrow morning. The only question is, what will you do when it does? If this story moved you, please give it a like and share it with someone who is working hard but feels stuck. Subscribe to our channel for more stories like this one. Until next time, wake up early, work on yourself, and keep moving forward.